It's time for another Dice Tower review with Barry.
And moving on to our next lot number PJ. Do I have any offers for this masterpiece? Do I hear 200? 200? 200? 200? Ah, thank you, madam. Any advances on 200? Okay, going.
This is Going, Gone. It's an auction game for 2 to 6 players. In it, players are trying to buy items from these cards and to make collections. They can make collections of the same object, or they can make collections which are all made in the same country. The bigger your collection, the bigger the amount it's worth. So these 3 Mona Lisas would be worth 12, whereas these 5 things made from Japan would be worth 30. Each player will choose a colour and then have 25 of their colour tokens. This is your money. So for each one is worth 1. Oh, just one. This is the deck of cards. They get distributed around these 5 glasses, which are kindly provided by Stronghold Games. And they get distributed like this. 2 there, 1 there, 2 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Now these are the articles that you're bidding for, and these are the pots which relate to the articles that you're bidding on. And then the youngest player would take this baton, which doubles as rules and score track and a thing for hitting people with. That doesn't double, that triples. But anyway, they are the auctioneer, and they are responsible for counting from 10 to 0. And now the auction is ready to go. The auctioneer, with the baton, will start a countdown from 10 to 0. You can do this as fast or as slow as you want, but the rhythm has to be steady. While you're counting down, all the players are making their bids on the items that they want by placing cubes in the appropriate pots of things that they want, and however much. When the auctioneer arrives at 0, the auction is closed. And then what will happen is the auctioneer will remove his baton and he will see the result of the auction. So in this case, there's nothing but green. So green loses these 4 cubes because he's paid for these 2 items. This is red. So red wins this auction, but black will get his cubes back, whereas red would lose his. And obviously, red would win this cuddly teddy bear. In case of a draw, what would happen is, if the auctioneer was the person that drawed, he would automatically, or she would automatically, win the bet. The auction. Not the bet, the auction. And this, if it wasn't the auctioneer, it would pass to the player on the left. And if that person had bet and drawn, they would win the auction. So once the cards have been distributed to their rightful new owners, they now goes into the phase where you're allowed to sell your collections. And you sell your collections according to the amount that you have. And these will let you recuperate the cubes, which you can then use for the next auction. The next auction will start when the baton is passed to the next player. Another 7 cards are distributed around the glasses, as before. And there's something else, and it's slipped away from me. So the player on the left is now the auctioneer. 7 cards. Yeah, and that is it. There was something else, but it's not. This will carry on for another 7 rounds, and that'll be when all the deck is gone. At that point, you count up who has the most cubes, money, whatever you want to call it, from their collections, and the one with the most wins, obviously. So, summing up for Going, Gone. Going, Gone is a board game that everybody should party with. It's a board game that everybody should not dismiss because it looks stupid. Let me explain. I dismissed this game. I was at Essen, my wife picked up and said, "Oh, what about this game? It looks good, doesn't it?" And I said, "It's nice." Yeah, it's my wife buying games because they got nice box art. I said, yeah, apparently it's a good game, but it's not my cup of tea. That's a cup of tea. And I said that in front of Mr. Bonacore, and I felt a bit bad. So we picked it up anyway. This type of game doesn't really normally appeal to me, but after playing it, I have to say that it was really good fun. Now, let me explain. The card art is lovely, the pots are pretty sturdy, the cubes are cubish, but I just want to note that some of the card art is a bit of publicity for Stronghold Games. Nicely done, Mr. Bonacore. The one drawback is with the batten. It's, you might not be able to see that, but it's slightly cracked there. It's not that strong. It's quite thick cardboard, but it's not that strong. And so I'd advise you, whenever you or the auctioneer, to hold the batten like that, or like that, so you don't break that off. Or maybe there's another way. Maybe you could sellotape a spatula to it, but that might hurt as well. As you can see, the rules all fit on there. There's no problem reading the rules, understanding the game. Simple game. Once you've explained the rules to people and then played one round, people start to go, ah, that's how it works. After the second round, people are giggling. After the third round, people are laughing. After the fourth round, the laughter is bigger. So you imagine what it's like at the end of the seventh round. Now, this didn't just happen one time that I played it. This happened several times that I've played it. In fact, all the times that I've played it. The game generates laughter and stupidity, and it's fantastic like that. It's like, takes me back to games that you used to play in the playground as kids. It's simple, it's light, but at the same time there's a little bit of strategy, thinking of like what cards to buy, what cards the other persons have won before, and you know, should you try and block them by putting money in there. And every time you've got your hand full of cubes, and you're like, well, I'm only going to spend this much, I'm not going to spend that, but you still end up putting all the cubes in the pot. Here's another example where it's funny. There was one card that I wanted to make my collection of 5, right? And I had my whole hand of cubes ready. The auctioneer counted really fast. And so I put my hand into the jar, let go of my cubes, the batten came down, I took my hand out, we revealed most of my cubes had missed the pot and someone else had won the auction. Did I laugh? The auctioneer, when he does the countdown, when she does the countdown, and they do it at variable speeds, one person does it slow, one person does it fast, one person does it intermediate, that makes it all the more hectic. I laughed my pants off when I played this last, because I had to do the countdown in French, because I live in France, and the players that I was playing with are French, and so they know the numbers in French. And you get that French bit. And every time I count down, I missed a number. And people were laughing at that. So maybe that should be an extra rule in the game. Do a countdown from 10 to 0, but in another language. Hardcore gamers will probably be put off by this. But I would say, put your conscience away. Put your baggage away as well. I don't want to see your baggage. This is a game about having fun. This is a 15-minute filler, although it says 20 minutes. Oh, I got that wrong. But it's a filler game. It's a family game. You can play this with your family, Christmas time, or whenever there's a meeting, just to get people into the mood and get them into the laughter. I can't wait to go back to the UK this Christmas and play this with my parents. Dad, you watching? Dad, this is a good game. We're going to play this. You're going to laugh. This is a board game everybody should be bringing to parties and concerts and dog competitions.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.